Leeds are making a very strong case for back-to-back promotions. They went into this weekend in the playoff places. Their opposition, a Bristol City team who were looking to build on a 4-0 win at Preston last Sunday. Your commentator is Kevin Keatings.
Transferred onto the right foot, excellent cross, and the header is wide from Wolford on his home debut. Martin Wolford, thumbs up for the service. It's a really excellent cross from Jamie McAllister. Measured ball forward from Bruce. Gradle turning well away from Kerry. Fed on here for Snodgrass. Lovely feet. And the opening goal. Robert Snodgrass for Leeds. Beautifully taken. Celebrates his first senior cap for Scotland in midweek with a really big goal for Leeds this Saturday in the Championship. Away initially from Fontaine, then from Colker, kept his composure and gave David James no chance. Super goal. There's the goal scorer, Snodgrass, looking for another, and brings a good save out of James. Don't think he's prevented the corner. Snodgrass hit it really well and forced David James into a scrambling save. McAllister free kick. And Wolford didn't get hold of it, and nor too really did Elliott. Difficult trying to spin in that position, and Marvin Elliott just couldn't take the chance that presented itself to him. Snodgrass running into Pittman. Leeds have it back though. Robert Snodgrass again. Gets away from McAllister, promising for Leeds. Still in there for Max Gradle. 2-0 Leeds. Through the legs of David James. And the two hands with 5 happy fingers on each signals 10 goals for the season for Max Gradle, and Leeds well on their way to another away win. The goal scorer in the first half, the creator this time, but David James won't want to see that again. Here's Snodgrass, got away from McAllister in the build-up to the second goal. His cross, and almost a third. Bradley Johnson denied by the tip over from James. Pittman, time to look up, see what's on in the middle. Decent ball in, and a chance. Keogh denied by Schmeichel. Shake of the head. Becchio did well under pressure from Fontaine. A lovely ball, and Gradle's onside. They're opening up Bristol City here. It's Max Gradle, and still Gradle. They were stretched here, Bristol City, having made the room for the shot. It was disappointing in the end. Header down, a good one, and a goal! Was just about to call a goal there for David Clarkson. Cleared off the line. Clarkson drove it in well, and it was the left foot of Luciano Becchio that turned it over. McAllister with a corner for Bristol City. Goal now is going to make for an interesting last few minutes. Oh, and Schmeichel under the post. Schmeichel makes the block off the bar from Elliott. That was remarkable. How did Leeds escape that? And in the middle of it all, there was a brilliant save from Schmeichel. Clarkson. Referee applying a really good advantage there for David Clarkson. And pulled out. Oh, that was important for Kasper Schmeichel.
Players had to put their bodies on the line with a few shots and a few saves, but we had opportunities as well to make the game a lot safer. But delighted to have got a result and another clean sheet.
We had enough chances in the second half to maybe get something out of the game. I don't think it was a 2-0 was a fair reflection on the effort and the chances we created today.
Cardiff were full of confidence ahead of the visit of second-bottom Scunthorpe after a win over rivals Swansea last week. Scunthorpe, meanwhile, had lost 5-1 at home, but for 85 minutes this match didn't run to form. The Iron had collected just 1 point in the whole of 2011. On loan Chelsea defender Ben Gordon almost put them ahead. Cardiff thought they'd taken the lead when Jay Bothroyd was sent clear. The striker looked onside, but it was the final touch of John Parkin that proved decisive. The forward flagged for offside. Scunthorpe looked like holding on for an unlikely point. That was until 5 minutes from time. Jason Koumas's cross headed on by Bothroyd, and Seyi Olofinjana did just enough to break the deadlock. It was a result that went to form, but proved hard to take for Iron boss Ian Barraclough.
Well, they're in there distraught that we've not come away with at least a point. I thought we negated their threat for long periods. They started playing long, hopeful balls, really, running out of ideas, whilst we still had the threat of our own. And to be talking about a 1-0 defeat is very, very difficult to take at this moment in time. Yeah.
Norwich manager Paul Lambert was keen to rediscover the winning habit after defeat to Burnley had ended his side's 8-match unbeaten run last week. When these two had met in November, it finished 3-3, with Grant Holt sent off and Lambert sent to the stands. This match proved just as dramatic. The opener arrived after 16 minutes when Henry Lansbury scored his second goal in 3 matches on loan from Arsenal. Reading had themselves been on a fine run before defeat to leaders QPR last weekend. It took them only 10 minutes to find a reply, Jimmy Kebe cutting the ball back to Shane Long for his first goal in 4 matches. Reading goalkeeper Adam Federici was making his 100th career league start, and he was at his best here to stop Holt's effort. The game's turning point came just after an hour, though. Jem Karachan's reckless tackle on David Fox saw players from both sides get involved. The end result was a straight red card for the young Turkish defender, leaving Reading to play the final 25 minutes with 10 men. Norwich fans would have been pleased to see Andrew Sermon make his return as a substitute after a season fraught with injury. He almost marked his return with a goal. Norwich had scored 7 times in stoppage time before this match, and it was another late show here. 4 minutes of added time had been played when Holt stole in at the far post to seal another memorable afternoon at Carrow Road, which keeps Norwich nicely placed on the shoulder of the top 2.
Dan Barth's absolute cracker at the Riverside. Having just lost to Cardiff, this was to be a match to remember for those hardy Swansea fans that had made the long trip from South Wales. Borough were defending a 5-game unbeaten home run, and it didn't take them long to take the initiative. Marvin Emnes against the team that he played for on loan earlier this season. It was a game that deserved a full house. No matter, it didn't take long for Swansea to get back into the game. A typically flowing move, a hallmark of their style this season, and Nathan Dyer with the leveller. Now you'll need to keep count here. That was 1-1. Jonathan Grounds was making a first Middlesbrough start since returning from a loan spell at Hibs. He marked the occasion with a first goal for his boyhood club, 2-1 to Borough. It's actually been almost half a century since Swansea won on Teesside, and that stat didn't look in any danger when Leroy Lita put Middlesbrough 3-1 ahead after the break. But the Swans were handed a lifeline when Joe Allen played a 1-2 with Stephen Dobbie, and a Julio Arca challenge took the City midfielder out. Scott Sinclair scored the spot kick, and Swansea had half an hour to salvage something from the game. 3-2 now to Borough. In fact, it took the visitors just 8 minutes to strike again, and they had some hesitant home defending to thank. Ashley Williams choosing a perfect time to score his first of the season. 3-3 now, and still over 20 minutes to play. And on a day full of late goals, the winner came in the 94th minute. Swansea's Craig Beattie found the space to strike, and the comeback was complete. A day when some lucky South Wales fans really could say, I was there.
I can pay nothing but tribute to the players. We spoke last night about mental toughness. You know, with 16 games to go, there's going to be performances that's going to be very, very good, but there's going to be other days when we're going to maybe play not so well and produce, you know, a performance and a result, having not done so well. And that epitomised today everything we talked about last night in terms of character, resilience, being positive and not dwelling on anything.
Now, here was a game with one of the most bizarre own goals you'll ever see. Burnley were the form team looking for a third win in 4 championship matches, but they'd yet to record an away victory over a top-half club and would have been behind early on had Manchester United loanee Daniel Drinkwater put this away. Instead, they were grateful to what could become a YouTube classic. Goalkeeper Scott Loach's attempted clearance rebounding off Dale Bennett and into the goal. Burnley's Jay Rodriguez was so bemused he didn't even know whether to celebrate. But the Hornets have been full of goals this season, with 53 from 28 league matches before this game, and they got themselves level when Marvin Sordell set up Danny Graham, his 16th league goal of the season, but his first for 5 matches in all competitions, after scoring in 7 consecutive games before that. But in the second half, Burnley's Chris Eagles was the man of the match. The former Watford loanee playing a 1-2 with Chris Iwelumo before poking his side in front just after the hour mark. And it was the same 2 who combined for Burnley's third, with Eagles this time the provider. Iwelumo always likely to win this contest at the far post, as he secured only a third away win for Burnley this season, and they climbed above their hosts.
Still to come, an all East Midlands affair as Derby take on Leicester. And Phil Brown is back at Hull and looking for his first win as the manager of Preston.